evening hours at Mosquito Lake, and that also means, again, I am going for bream and not at the Old Burg, but once again at Mosquito Lake because there are bream here as well. So let's take a look at what's happening here at this spot. I already threw some ground bait onto the spot during the early evening hours. That is, of course, always super essential for bream fishing. Walk to the spot early in the evening so that already around 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, you throw a lot of ground bait onto the spot. Or, of course, already have it inside the feeder basket. And then, during the evening hours or later at night, you will have enough bream on the spot and can then also catch sufficiently large bream. And that is extremely important because the small bream, and I'll take a quick look inside, this is what it looks like right now. Here in the evening hours, we are of course only catching these small bream. We don't want those. They're not worth it. They eat away our bait and bring almost no silver and very little experience points. The large bream here, that's what matters for bream fishing. Even so, of course, we do not throw these small bream away because we can still use them later to make fish pieces, and otherwise we simply sell them at the fish market, even if they don't even bring a single silver. Darky already tested this spot extensively yesterday and was able to make really good silver here at this spot with several bream, but also tench. And the last spot from the previous video is also still supposed to be running really well. So if you are still looking for a spot that works at Mosquito Lake, this spot is also still performing very well. Yes, and because I don't just copy a spot one-to-one, but can also think for myself, I am of course now also trying out other baits. So I'm leaving 2 rods exactly as currently recommended. And the 1 rod I am testing with a different bait because it is absolutely possible that today, under today's weather conditions, a different bait suddenly works significantly better. That's why you should always take such spots only as a guideline and then independently continue testing whether there might be an even better way to catch bream here. And if you want to figure out completely on your own where and how to best catch bream, definitely check out the bream spot search video. That one is very up to date and shows you how to best find bream spots, for example at the Old Burg. But the same of course applies to all other waters as well. So I tested around a bit more and tried different things. Up front here, there were actually too few bream for me, and accordingly I varied the whole thing once again a bit to get more results. So cast out again immediately and keep trying. Alright, the first position here now, I'll quickly show this on the map. I am now conveniently standing right at the boat dock. So I'm already a bit further out in the deeper area, and Darky was fishing here at 8 meters. And that already looks really good from the net image as well. So that is absolutely doable. And in terms of silver per hour, that is totally fine. At this spot, at 8 meters, he made roughly 150 silver. I'm now casting a bit further out though, not at 8 meters, but from here more in the direction of this hole, over here, and then more towards 15 meters. And of course, I also set myself a target on the horizon so that I always cast into the same area. So find a fixed point and always cast toward that point so that your bait and your ground bait always land in the exact same spot. Zach, and the next one here. Very nice. Yes, so back here it seems to be getting a bit bigger again. Up front in that area, it's a bit calmer. Just now, already again over 2 kilograms. That is of course a really good sign. So bream, as mentioned, are usually very active in deep holes. And come on over here, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it already swam forward here. Another small bream again. Yes, so usually active in deep holes, but also every now and then in not quite as deep areas. You can notice that, for example, at the Old Burg as well. In the front area at the Old Burg where the AI always goes, you also occasionally have bream, and it's not super deep there either. Even so, such hot spots for bream are usually located in these deeper areas. Well, there you go, freshly cast out, and it starts immediately. And the second bait version is also being taken. So that is obviously important as well. Which baits work best? Yes, that's good. Here goes the next one. That's how it should be. Bream fishing. It should be beeping nonstop. The bite alarm should be in action the entire time, so you can pull out one bream after another. If you are fishing here with curd dough as bait, then you can of course also occasionally catch tench here. That is also quite interesting, especially if you are fishing throughout the whole day. During the day, however, you can absolutely also use the red worm or corn kernel. These baits can also repeatedly work really well if you want to stay consistently at the spot throughout the day. But here as well, pearl groats porridge seems to work quite well. And pearl groats porridge is the simplest bait we can use here for bream fishing. So definitely try it out with pearl groats porridge, because curd dough can only be bought once you reach level 16 and can travel to Koori. You can of course also find plenty of information about that in the basic tutorials, which explain all the fundamentals of the game. And it continues. Yes, so even here in the morning hours, there is still a pretty good frequency. Still on curd dough here as well, so not bad at all. I would say we'll take another look at the net image shortly and also at the setup, because for bream it is of course extremely important to go as fine as possible here. So, a suitable fish for beginners who might still be standing here with the feeder set start and only just have their first skill points invested into ground bait to fish for bream here. You should ideally go in with a feeder basket and then use a small thin leader. The leader, of course, has to match your setup. That means you can't just copy my leader or the breaking strain of my leader. The setup must fit your own setup. That is also explained in the basic tutorials, how to properly build your setup so nothing breaks. If you are standing here with a leader of 4 or 5 kilograms, that is absolutely sufficient. Better too light than too strong on the leader, because that gives you less spooking effect, and bream are actually quite shy. Yes, for hook size, I am currently using a size 1 hook just for testing. From a size 4 up to a size 1.0 hook, you can absolutely use those hooks here. A size 1 hook is always a good size to catch as many fish as possible, but also large ones, so that always pays off. And there we have the next one on, putting up a bit of a fight. Come on over here. What do we have here? Well, look at that, again over 2 kilograms. So it's going quite well here at this spot. You can really do this. Right now, as mentioned, I am set up at 15 meters distance, but at the beginning, the 8 meters distance also worked quite well. I am now testing the third bait, namely garlic dough. And with that, we have the 3 most important baits: pearl groats porridge, curd dough, garlic dough. There are of course additional baits that work quite well again and again. Definitely check out the basic bream tutorial so that you can properly test all bream spots and baits. So it is still the morning hours, and even so it's running quite well here. I'd say until roughly 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, the bream can still bite quite well here. So I'll pull out a few more fish here, make a bit more silver. If this helped you, leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That helps me in return. And we'll see each other in the next video. Until then, tight lines.